Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, organized labor mobilizes its members for strike as disagreement between the unions and the federal government on implementation of the 30,000 naira minimum wage persists. Police shut down another illegal detention center in Katsina State. Victims narrate ordeal, say condition of facility is dehumanizing. It's a tale of anguish for Lagos residents as flood ravages many parts of the city following days of rainfall. And Syrian forces move towards the north of the country following agreements to help Kurdish forces push back Turkish offensive in the area.
On business news tonight, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation raises confidence on achieving 3 million barrels per day crude production target.
And on sports news tonight, PSG Football Club confirms star forward Neymar will be out for 4 weeks after suffering a hamstring injury during the international break.
And from Abuja, Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole destroys location on the fringes of Sambisa Forest in Borno State, allegedly used as a meeting venue by Boko Haram terrorists.
It's less than 48 hours to the planned nationwide strike by the workers' union, and there are indications that the aggrieved workers are not ready to back down on their demands until the government listens to them. Leaders of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress say there is no going back on the non-implementation of the new minimum wage and the consequential adjustment until the federal government meets their demands. There is, however, a condition. The Labour leaders say they will only back down if there's a consensus at the end of the joint negotiating meeting with the federal government tomorrow.
It's been over 5 months since President Muhammadu Buhari assented to the 30,000 naira minimum wage bill. But the signing of that bill does not put all the issues regarding salaries upgrade for civil servants to rest. Exactly 1 week ago, the Workers' Union issued a strike notice to the federal government, asking the Minister of Labour to reconvene the negotiating meeting and finalize on the issues of consequential salaries adjustment for workers who are in salaries grade level 7 and above.
Thank you.
While the unions are demanding for 29% salary increase for workers on grade 7 to 14 and 24% for grade 15 to 17, the federal government is proposing 11% for officers on grade level 11 to 14 and 6.5% for officers on grade level 15 to 17. These discrepancies have kept the workers' unions at loggerheads with the federal government. At this meeting with the Workers' Union in Abuja, the Minister of Labour and Employment appeals to the workers to resolve the issues before the next budget circle begins.
We need to close up on whatever we are doing because we are discussing recurrent expenditure. Personnel cost is part of recurrent expenditure in 2019, and the budget cycle is just going to start again in January. So let us do everything so that people will enjoy this money effective from April and before the close of November.
The meeting enters a closed-door session. About 2 hours later, the Workers' Union tells journalists that their earlier directives instructing members to mobilize for the strike action still subsists.
We believe we've done beyond expectation. So what is needed of government is to reciprocate in doing what is needful in appreciating their workers. Because we're talking about compensation here. We're talking about salary. We're talking about legitimate compensation for work done. Tomorrow's meeting is truly the benchmark for action, but mobilization continue. You just know that labor mobilization continue. Tomorrow's meeting will still tell us the way forward because anything can happen.
As it stands, there is no certainty that a consensus will easily be reached on the percentage of increase to be adopted. What is certain, however, is the fact that incessant strike actions are not good for a struggling economy like Nigeria's.
Meanwhile, the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics is also giving the federal government a 21-day ultimatum to address issues affecting polytechnics in the country. The national president of the union, Comrade Usman Dutse, lists the group's demands to include solving the problem of enrollment of polytechnic staff in the federal government integrated personnel payroll information system and the alleged continuous victimization suffered by union officials. He made the comments at the conclusion of the 96th National Executive Council meeting of the union held at the Federal Polytechnic, Oko, in Anambra State.
Threats and intimidations are the only tools being deployed by government at forcing our members into the system as against constructive engagement aimed at resolving the contentious aspect of the policy. Non-implementation of the Federal Polytechnic Act 2009 amendment. Number 3, continued victimization of union officers. Our union has reviewed the above situations, as well as the refusal of government to respond to several correspondences on the issues as captured above, and has resolved to rise up to the occasions once again in defense of the sector. So the union is hereby issuing a 21-day ultimatum which will elapse the 31st of October to the government to address issues as listed satisfactorily or risk the indefinite withdrawal of services of our members nationwide.
Moving on to other stories, the police have uncovered yet another torture facility under the guise of a rehabilitation center, this time in the Daura area of Katsina State. The closure of the 40-year-old facility follows a protest by the residents over what they call a clear case of violation of human rights. The police say the inmates are kept under dehumanizing conditions during the rehabilitation process, while some of the workers at the center are accused of engaging the inmates in homosexual activities.
The unusual presence of policemen on a day like this in Daura is a sign that all is not well. The State Police Commissioner Sanusi Buba leads the team to this facility, housing persons believed to be outlaws, and has been in operation for over 40 years. The facility has 6 rooms, each of them housing at least 40 inmates, mostly underage. This is where they sleep, make their food, close to their bathroom, and the supposed comfort station. It's obviously unhealthy and inhabitable. More than 300 inmates used to live here, but over 200 of them have escaped, leaving behind 63 others. With scars on their bodies, skin diseases, and clear signs of infection, the remaining inmates recount their harrowing experience, which they say is dehumanizing.
The first thing they brought me here was they pushed me inside. They searched my body. I have 1,000 naira inside my pocket and some coins. They robbed all my money and they chained my leg. When they brought me inside, in the morning, you will take pap. There is no sugar.
The police are particularly worried about this situation and are ready to get to the root of the matter by ensuring that the inmates are returned to their parents.
We are going to put heads together with the Emirate Council and, in fact, the state government, so that we can put in place machineries of ensuring that all these people are returned to their parents. Yes, we are going to do that. Because this man does not have the capacity. 1, he is not registered. 2, he does not have the capacity to sustain this kind of so-called rehabilitation. There is no rehabilitation in this place, as you can see. Almost all of them were chained, if not all, and they were being beaten.
Then the police team visits the Emir of Daura, who expresses shock and surprise, but wants the police to immediately notify the state government while promising to talk to the president about the matter. Although the 78-year-old proprietor of the rehabilitation center is said to have handled the business well over the years, the growing population there seems to have overwhelmed his son, who is the new man in charge. The plight of these ones, though, however, still a major concern as the police continues to uncover these torture facilities hidden and spread across the country.
And back here in Lagos, residents have been groaning about the effects of recent flooding that have swept many homes and claimed lives. Most of the affected residents are asking the state government to urgently address the situation before it gets out of hand. In this report, our correspondent Oreoluwa Shonibare reports on the effect of the heavy rains.
A bright sunny day in Lagos. Not that this is anything new, but in recent times, it is regarded as a much-needed respite from the rains that has been pelting the city, claiming lives and causing serious damage. Saturday, October the 12th, is one of such, and perhaps the most brutal yet. Across the state, tales of woe can be heard. Families weeping over recovered bodies of their loved ones swept by the flood. Like this incident behind Sparklight Estate in the Sherry North axis. Residents claim the construction company handling the road project did not follow through on securing the portion that was flooded. At the Ikorodu end, the damage is not pretty. Abandoned or near overturned vehicles are a common sight. The struggle of vehicles against the torrent is a reminder of the animal crossing of the Serengeti in Kenya, where only the fittest and the luckiest get across.
Yesterday, it was tight.
Moving uptown, the Lekki-Ajah axis is also going through the motions, as these amateur videos sent in by eyewitness reporters show. Streets have been taken over by huge amounts of water. And as scary as it looks, some find space in their minds to catch some fun to calm their nerves. There's no rain today, but the aftermath of the previous day's downpour is visible.
Oh my God.
This woman is too upset to talk to the camera, but instead shows how she weighs in her Wellington boots. For those without boots, it's a careful balancing act on the side pavement. Any error, and it gets uncomfortable. Motorcycle operators fill the gap for those not keen on risking their limb. Vehicles are moved with care to avoid damage, a situation this woman is livid about. She takes a swipe at the authorities for abandoning the road project designed to protect them from the flood.
2 days ago, was it on Saturday? Nobody could pass this place. Nobody could go to market. Nobody could eat. Nobody could. So many activities were cancelled.
On my way going to the street, I have to turn back because everywhere is flooded. This Lekki-Ajah, everywhere here is flooded. The government should help us out.
The state government, on its part, has promised to speedily address the problem by fixing the roads and drainage channels.
The level of rains we've seen in the last couple of months, major reconstruction and some palliative work would start immediately in various parts of the state, both on the island, in Ikoyi, Victoria Island, some part of Lekki, also moving to Ikeja, moving to Ikorodu, moving to the GRA, Koshofe, and all nooks and crannies.
The people are angry and scared. Their frustration is at the state government for what they regard as neglect, while their fear is over what havoc nature will wreak next. Oreoluwa Shonibare, Channel Television.
And in part two, after the break, EFCC operatives storm party venue in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, arrest 94 alleged internet fraudsters. That's coming in a moment. Please stay with us.